What up, YouTube? It's Knowledge and Self-Determination. I just wanted to do an update on this story here. The Fort Worth policeman who had arrested a woman, Jacqueline Craig, and two of her daughters, one of them being Bria Hyman, who is the young lady that is seen in the photo here, or the scene here from the actual video, the live video itself. Just wanted to give you guys an update on what's happening with that and what has basically unfolded so far. Let's see. Just for those who aren't familiar with it, the White Texas police officer has been suspended without pay for 10 days, but will not be fired after an internal investigation of a cell phone video in which he is seen wrestling a black mother and her daughter to the ground and arresting them. The incident happened in December after Jacqueline Craig complained that a neighbor choked her 7-year-old son for littering. In the viral video, Officer William Martin forces Craig and her daughter to the ground and thrusts a stun gun into Craig's back. He also then pointed the stun gun at the daughter, Bria Hyman, the one on the right picture here. They did not state that in this report here. Craig and her daughters were arrested on charges including disorderly conduct. Martin was disciplined for neglect of duty, being discourteous to the public, conduct prejudicial to good order, and violation of department rules, including excessive use of force and failing to thoroughly investigate. That's like 6 charges. Just for those of you who want to keep in count. That's like 6 charges. The attorney for Ms. Craig, Lee Merritt, said the decision not to fire the officer is intolerable. Merritt posted a video to Facebook saying his clients are quote-unquote understandably in disbelief. Merritt had asked that Martin be fired and charged with the crime. He has also asked that all charges against the Craig's family be dropped and that charges be filed against the neighbor accused of choking Craig's 7-year-old son. So even though he was wrong and his fellow officers believe him to be wrong and that these women were falsely arrested, they still have charges on them. Charges that will stick with them for the rest of their lives. Those charges need to be dropped. They need to be reimbursed for the bail money that they paid to actually be released from jail. There's a lot of things that need to happen in this case that need to be in the favor of this woman and her daughters and her son, because the son is the actual victim. He's a 7-year-old boy who was traumatized by a neighbor, choked by a neighbor. Now just put this into perspective for all of you out there who have children, don't have children, or want to have children one day. You have nieces, nephews, little cousins. If some stranger out of nowhere walked up to your 7-year-old kid, neighbor, nephew, whatever, and choked them for littering, I can only imagine that everybody in their right mind would want to take their fist and put it through the back of this guy's head. I mean that's what I would think, or at least slap the taste out of his mouth. As nonviolent as you may be, doesn't mean that you would not want to do something like that to him, or at least be angry or upset like this woman visibly was. And she restrained herself. She was actually being very disciplined and well controlled, you know? And so the officer started spewing his nonsense, and then she started to get upset, and rightfully so. So let's read a little bit more about this. Fitzgerald said the officer, identified by department officials as William Martin, violated policy, is sorry for his behavior, and is eager to resume active duty at the end of the suspension. He said he has asked Martin, who will also be required to undergo additional training, to go back into the same community when the suspension ends to quote-unquote repair relationships. Right. We're not sanctioning bad behavior. People make mistakes. We have levels of mistakes that every police officer makes, Fitzgerald said. Some things deserve punishment, some do not. Some deserve termination, and some do not. I'll let you guys be the judge on that one. The incident on December 21st happened after Jacqueline Craig complained that a neighbor choked her 7-year-old son for allegedly, mind you, keyword allegedly, littering in his yard. The man wasn't even able to produce whatever litter or trash the little boy, 7 years old. He was unable to produce any evidence or proof that the little boy even littered, first and foremost. In the video, Martin questions why Craig hadn't taught her son not to litter, and later asks why the neighbor shouldn't have put his hands on her son. And he's a peace officer, mind you. One of Craig's daughters tries to push her mother away from Martin, but the officer forces Craig and the daughter to the ground. He thrusts a stun gun into Craig's back and later points it at the daughter, telling her to stay back. That's what I said earlier. Let's see. He arrested Craig and the daughters on charges that included disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Now watch the video and you tell me if any of their behavior was disorderly. and resisting arrest, mind you. Now, again, watch the video. These women were never under arrest in the first place, so how could they be resisting? When he took Jacqueline Craig down to the ground, she didn't resist. She didn't fight this man back. None of that happened. Just watch the video if you can find it online. Just watch the video. The disciplinary report submitted to the Civil Service Commission says Martin violated the department policy by using excessive force and failing to thoroughly investigate. Other findings include neglect of duty, being discourteous to the public, and conduct prejudicial to good order. Officer Martin violated state and departmental rules and policies by using excessive force, being disrespectful, and failing to thoroughly investigate a criminal offense. Fitzgerald writes in the letter. And think about this. He failed to thoroughly investigate a criminal. He failed to investigate the criminal offense, period. Because remember, the criminal here in this situation is the man who choked that 7-year-old boy. Okay? Terry S. Daffron, an attorney representing Martin, said he has appealed the suspension. Of course, we clearly do not agree with the findings contained in the chief's disciplinary letter. She wrote in an email statement, "We look forward to a fair, neutral, and impartial hearing process, free from political pressure and influence on where Officer Martin will finally have a voice, and all of the evidence will be considered by the arbitrator." All of the evidence, the video, is clearly all the evidence that you need. But of course, this is lawyer talk. Basically, lawyers are scum, and this lawyer is going to try to make it seem as though this officer was doing his job, and that the woman was out of control, and that these 3 women needed to be arrested, but not the man who choked the little boy. Anyway, let's see. Craig's attorney demanded that Martin be fired and criminally charged, that all charges against the Craig family be dropped, and that the neighbor be charged with assaulting her son. The attorney, Esley Martin, did not immediately return a phone call on Monday seeking comment, but posted a video statement to Facebook. Let's see. They are understandably in disbelief, shocked and upset, Merritt said of the Craig family. There are still charges pending against the Craig family. These 3 women still have charges pending against them. Okay? They still have charges pending against them. So none of the charges that were filed against them were dropped. There are still charges pending. How is that possible in a case where they were obviously mistreated and falsely arrested? This is ridiculous. I will put the links to this story, to this update, into the description so that you guys can check it out. If you get a chance to watch the video, watch it if you haven't watched it. It's on YouTube. You'll probably find it on Facebook. Probably find this video everywhere. But yeah, I just wanted to give an update on that to let you guys know of what's happening, the outrage in this situation, and the key points here, the key elements here. 1, this man only got suspended for 10 days for 6 charges, 6 violations. You understand? 6 violations. Let's just go over what those 6 violations were. Again, real quick, just quickly. 6 violations. Neglect of duty. 1, being discourteous to the public. 2, conduct prejudicial to good order and violation of department rules. 3 and 4, including excessive force. 5, and failing to thoroughly investigate. Number 6. So there you have it. And also the neighbor who has not faced any criminal charges. He choked a little boy, and he still hasn't faced any criminal charges. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Check out the links in the description to get more info on the stories themselves, on this story itself. And always remember to like, learn, and subscribe. This is Knowledge of Self-Determination. Peace.